Now, basis of indemnity. This is very important. Again, lot of confusion is there. I'll explain that. There are two situations. One is machinery is repairable. And in 95% or I would say 90% of the cases, the loss, they fall under this category. Machineries, they can be, unless there is a problem of obsolete spare parts, or sometimes the constructive total loss can also take place. That's a different thing. But otherwise, machinery, they are found repairable. So in that case, if it is repairable, company will pay the expenses, total expenses, and your repairing cost, cost of parts, then plus cost of dismantling, re-erection, and reassembly, dismantling, and your for the purpose of effecting repair, as well as ordinary freight. If the machinery is required to be sent to a workshop, then ordinary freight is also paid to and from, to and fro. Then custom duties, if applicable. And what is this important is very important. To the extent they are insured, they are included in the sum insured. So what insured is supposed to declare, the sum insured is declared, then at the time of loss, the breakup of sum insured has to be shown. And in case it is established that all these charges were added while declaring the sum insured, then only they are paid, otherwise no. Okay. Then this I have already explained. Depreciation will not be applied except for limited life components. So where the limited life is declared, limited life is already announced by the manufacturer, only on those components the depreciation will apply, otherwise not. For example, in case of engine, diesel engine, your piston rings or piston, these are required to be replaced, but your connecting rod, your total cylinder head or valves are limited life components. So anything, your bearings, etc., all these things, wherever you feel that this component requires replacement during the lifetime of the machinery, then it is a limited life component. Okay. Now, second situation is total loss. So what if the repairs, it is constructive total loss. When it will happen, when the repairing cost exceeds the actual value of the machinery. In that case, machinery is repairable. Still, you can repair it by changing the parts. But the cost of repair, it is so extensively damaged due to any reason, due to breakdown, that your repair cost will exceed your actual value of the machinery. In that case, it is treated as total loss. Or the other situation is it is damaged beyond repairs. Say for example, there is an explosion, internal explosion of a moving item because of centrifugal forces. It has exploded. In that case, okay, or some external component has gone inside the machinery in a rotating machinery where the machinery is rotating at 3000 rpm or so. In that case, it will cause severe damage to the machinery. So if it is found that machinery is beyond repairs or it is a constructive total loss, then company will pay actual value of the machinery, including ordinary freight, erection, okay, as on date of loss. So actual value of the machinery as on date of loss, including all these items, provided they are included in the sum insured. Of course, this is a very important condition. And such, how do we calculate actual value? What do we mean? So actual value is to be calculated by deducting depreciation, depending upon the age of the machinery, from the current replacement value of the item. If the machinery replacement value is 50 lakhs and machinery is 10 years old or 5 years old, so if it is 5 years old, if you are applying a depreciation at the rate of 5%, then 25% will be deducted from 50 lakhs. Okay. And 5% will be 2.5 lakhs. Okay. 5% will be how much? No, 25%. 25% of 50 lakhs will be 12.5. So 37.5 will be paid as a actual value of the machinery. Company will also pay your normal charges for dismantling. Dismantling of machinery will also be paid in case of total loss or constructive total loss. But the salvage value will be taken into account. What does it mean? Whatever remaining salvage is there, that will be further deducted from the claim. So the claim will be current replacement value minus your depreciation plus all these additional costs if it is incurred and it is covered in the policy sum insured, and finally salvage is to be deducted. That is the fundamental of payment of total loss. Now in this case you will say, what about under insurance? Under insurance there is no requirement of payment of under insurance in such cases, total loss cases, not required, because we are already paying the depreciated value, which is much below the sum insured. But by any chance, if the actual value is more than the sum insured, then the upper limit is your sum insured in any case. You cannot pay more than the sum insured. And people discuss a lot, people they argue, they talk in terms of in favor of the client. It's okay, you talk in terms of in favor of the client, but as I have already told you, your hands are tight. Your policy says the payment cannot exceed the sum insured in aggregate.